So, hi guys! My name is Peter and this is our guest Sasha.
Hello.
She spent some time in Australia, some 2 years, I believe.
Yes, correct.
So that's why we invited her here, because she's our friend and ex-colleague, and we wanted to ask her a lot of questions about her stay in Australia. So what is it like to live in Australia for this long time? What are the similarities and differences?
Right. So I would start with maybe a quick information that the lifestyle in Australia is definitely different than the lifestyle here in Czech Republic, or that's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
The major difference would probably be Australia, as you probably all of you know, is a destination where you are, in majority of destinations, majority of cities, you are never too far away from a beach.
Yeah.
So a beach and the sea and the ocean are a very important part of the life of Australian people and people who live in Australia. Families, friends, everybody spends their time at the beach, especially when there is a day off, a holiday or a weekend. It's the place to go. Swimming obviously is very big. Surfing is massive. That's one of the things that's very characteristic for Australians. They love their surfing and their water sports in general. What else? Well, beer culture and alcohol drinking culture.
Yeah, that might be interesting for Czechs and Czech people.
It's big. So Australians drink a lot, and I wouldn't say they get really drunk, like blind drunk. That's not the thing, but they consume alcohol on everyday basis. So with your dinner or with your lunch with friends, or when you are outside, you would have a drink or two. It's not just beer; they are big on their wines as well. Australia is famous for very quality wines. They grow their own. Spirits like vodkas, rums as well. I know they are very big on gin at the moment. Gin is a very big thing in Australia. They even have their own distilleries. There is one particular brand that I particularly enjoyed when I was in Australia. It was called Ink Gin.
Okay, and I haven't tried that yet.
Well, it's only Australian thing. I'll try to have it sent over, and maybe we can do a tasting.
Okay, that sounds nice. Maybe a future video of tasting.
Can make that, yes. Ink gin is very specific because when you pour it in a glass, it's purple. That's why it's called ink. And then when you pour tonic in it, because that's how you usually serve gin with tonic. When you pour tonic in it, it changes color. It goes pink.
Oh, yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds good.
It's very interesting, and taste-wise, it's really good.
Yeah. And do Australians also go to the pubs, or do they drink at home with their families?
Oh, absolutely. So they would go drinking out. It depends on the place you are at. Australia is not the same as Czech Republic in this matter. So in majority of places you will actually have something that is called the lockout law. And it's a law that doesn't allow the pubs and the clubs and places that serve alcohol to stay open after certain hours. So it's midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning where the pub or club will close, and you will not be allowed to enter anymore. So effectively that means that people prefer, if they are going to drink later in the evening or at night, they would prefer to stay at home and invite friends over and have, let's say, a barbecue if there is an option. If they have a place to have a barbecue, like a garden or a backyard or a balcony, then they would prefer to stay and drink at home.
So I'm sorry, no non-stop bars in Australia?
No, absolutely not. You can't even buy alcohol in normal, regular shops in Australia. So if you go to a supermarket, like say in here you would have a Tesco or a Billa, you can't buy a bottle of wine in there. You have to go to a special shop for that.
And you've mentioned barbecue. I've heard that it's a really big thing in Australia, that Australians love to barbecue.
Oh, they love it. I've sometimes felt like they would probably put anything on a barbecue, including like their shoes or something. They just love to barbecue stuff. It's like their favorite thing to do. And it's not only about the food, although the food is obviously the main part of it, but it's about gathering friends and inviting them over, or you can go to a park and they have public barbecues in parks where you can just bring your own food, your own meat, vegetables and so on. You can use the public barbecue as long as you clean it afterwards, and then you can sit in the park and have a little picnic and enjoy the nice weather which Australia is famous for.
That's a nice idea, actually. I can imagine having it here in the Czech Republic in some parks.
I think it would be great. Yes, it would definitely mean that people would enjoy going out more, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And let's go back to the beach.
Okay, yes.
That's a good idea. I believe that it depends on the weather, like if the people go to the beach or not. So what's the weather like? Or do they even go to the beach in winter? Because you made it sound like they do, or...
Yes, well, it depends on what part of Australia, again, you are in. So Australia, for many people, majority of people, I believe, when you say Australia, they will imagine beach and sun and warmth. And it's not like that all year round. It depends. Australia is such a big country, so it snows in parts of Australia, and you don't go to the beach when it snows, obviously.
Of course.
But there are parts of the country where it's usually very, very warm, and that's up north. So it's different from Europe, right? Everything is vice versa in Australia. Everything is in reverse. So the more north you go, the warmer it gets. The more the south you go, the more down you go, it gets colder. But people in general, they would go to the beach even if it's a little bit rainy, or if it's if the weather is not exactly your normal regular beach weather as you would imagine it. It's very nice to just walk alongside the beach. You don't have to go swimming. You can just watch the ocean. It's really nice, and if you like that kind of thing, it's really, really beautiful. Also, crazy surfers. When the windier and the rainier it gets, the higher the wave is, right? So those guys will go out in the worst of weather. They will go surfing
in the middle of hurricane or something like that.
Absolutely, yes, because the waves are obviously, so they say, they're amazing in that kind of weather. So they will go surfing even if normal people would like to stay inside and watch TV. Yeah,
I can imagine that. And was there anything that you really had a problem getting used to about Australians and their mentality and culture?
Well, I didn't really have a problem with anything. What surprised me and what I actually really liked was the way they communicate with each other. Like you meet a complete stranger in a shop or on a bus, and they smile at you and they say hello, how are you, and they start a conversation with you, even if they don't know you, and they just passing by, and it's really nice, and I think that's one thing that I would like to see more here, actually. People being a little bit more open towards each other. Yeah,
it would sound a little bit strange or unusual for us at first, but I think it would bring the community more together. Probably.
I think so, yes. And I understand it's not in the nature of people here in Czech Republic, so it might be a little bit difficult, but maybe something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you very much for the nice information on the Australian lifestyle and their culture and basically pastime activities, we can say. And of course, this hasn't been the last video about Australia, so you can look forward to hearing more about Australia, definitely in our future videos. So thank you very much for having you. It was enjoyable as usual. So and see you next time.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.